short time slot when you think about it. I'm on some very good stations, but whatever. And I'm trying to think about it. I'm never mentioned. I don't exist. They take minuscule liberal talk shows that no one ever heard of, and they talk about them and all that. And yet I have a phenomenal following, 4 bestsellers and a huge website and all of that. It's because the people know the truth, and they hear it. But, you know, there's another element that I got to tell you about, because someone was asking me the other day, what do you think your appeal is? I said, I'll tell you what it is. First of all, if you speak with a sense of reality in this world of corporate BS, people are going to flock to you if you know what you're talking about. Secondly, I'm highly educated, so I back up my opinions with facts. But there's another element, and it's an emotional element. What you're hearing from me in my voice on my show for these 15 years, those of you who've listened, is the voice of your father, the voice of your grandfather, the voice of your uncles. In essence, I'm really the voice of the real America. I am the voice of the true America. This is the voice that is suppressed by the vermin in the media. This is the voice that I like these words I like to use right now, the creatures in the news business. The creatures in the news business that the politicians cater to. This is the voice they want to pretend doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying to you? This is the voice of the homicide detective in Manhattan from the 1960s. This is the voice of the fireman. This is the voice of the longshoreman. This is the voice of the plumber. This is the voice of the teacher. This is the voice of the priest. This is the voice of America. It's the savage nation. I've never actually said that to you, but that's what it is when you think about it. I've met people from all walks of life. And there's no generalizing, obviously, about people in that sense. There's 5 billion people. You can't generalize about people. I've told you that I know that we're all snowflakes in design. We are all different. There's absolutely no people who are identical. I don't even think identical twins are identical, but I haven't studied them that well. I don't think there's 100% identical identicality between even identical twins, but I can't be sure of that. We're all snowflakes is the point. The point I'm trying to make is a little different than that we're all snowflakes. But there's something in common amongst all of the snowflakes, which is that in order for you to survive, and I'm addressing this to people who listen to talk radio. Remember, you're a unique audience already. You've self-selected as a unique audience already. You're not the average person. You're not the kind of person who would watch The View and think that that creature that should be outside the Holland Tunnel in fishnet stockings at 4 in the morning is a serious woman. You know she's a fetid old creature. You know that. You know not to trust Obama. You know not to trust Hillary. And you also know that McCain is a front man for the very same group that got us where we are today. You know that. You understand that. You all know that. And the reason you like this show is because I speak to you the way many of you think, but you don't articulate. And the reason you don't articulate these thoughts is because you're not in the business of articulating these thoughts. They're ideas you have, a feeling, a sense. My job is to articulate what you feel and what you think you want to think, or to say for you what you can't say for yourself. Again, I'll quote a French poet that I quoted 5 times in 15 years. I think it was Mallarmé, the French poet, who said the purpose, in his case, of the poet, when he was writing, was to give more clarity to the words of the tribe. In French, it is, donner plus clair la mot de la tribu. And I'm not saying this in order to impress you with my French, because I do not speak French. I remember certain phrases from my years of studying dialogue. To make more clear the words of the tribe, that's what I have to do for you every day. But it's not hard for me. It flows around me the way water flows around a duck. If I actually had to work hard to do this, I couldn't do it, but one day I'd collapse. At this point, what you're hearing from me is basically what I would think and say to somebody I'm talking to. You know what I'm saying? The same as talking to an audience of millions of people. It's not that hard when you really have a good brain and you've studied things long enough and you just express things the way they are. You know, there was once a time in America when even the average man, the uneducated man, was smart enough to know what was going on and to express himself succinctly and say what was going on. He didn't need to refer to an expert. Today, everyone needs an expert. An expert they need, a grieving counselor after something horrible happens. They hire a bunch of perverts with balloons and teddy bears to come to a site of a shooting. They have a grieving counselor. Everything they need an expert for. I don't need an expert to know what's going on. I know what's going on. I can see this country and where it's headed. I know that George Bush has almost given us the perfect storm. of basically fumbling the economy to the point where we don't know what's coming tomorrow. We could have a major blowout like the Great Depression. All we need is China to yank a few T-bills, or Japan to yank a few T-bills, or Brazil or Saudi Arabia to yank a few T-bills. They hold our debt. Or all we need is what? Perfect storm. The airlines are now sitting there with people, 100,000, 150,000 people stuck at airports. So you got the financial system in their breakdown. You've got the transportation system in their breakdown. You've got the immigration system in their breakdown. Tell me what's working today. Tell me what's working. Find Waldo.